Chapter 1, Changing Your Money Mindset. The only thing I like about rich people is their money. Nancy Astor, Viscountess Astor. Successful wealth masters can identify their own damaging money mindsets, and they know how to change them. In this chapter, we'll begin identifying your destructive money mindsets so you can change those that don't support your financial success. The Millionaire Summit. Almost 10 years ago, my husband Chris and I were invited to attend a Millionaire Summit at a resort in Henderson, Nevada. The invitation didn't provide much detail about the event, except the keynote speaker was a decamillionaire who was going to teach us his success secrets. We had already achieved millionaire status at the time, but we were excited to attend to learn how to achieve his level of success. On the first day of the event, about 40 people were in the room. The speaker asked us to share what our parents had taught us about millionaires or rich people when we were growing up. About half of the attendees raised their hands. They said their parents told them things like, millionaires are greedy. They got their money in shady ways. They're stingy. Millionaires are bad people and can't be trusted, etc. After hearing the other attendees repeat their parents' verbal attacks on millionaires, the speaker asked any millionaires in the group to stand up. I was almost too embarrassed to stand. That's when I realized Chris and I were the only other millionaires in the room. When we stood up, the speaker asked us what we had learned about the rich growing up. Nothing. I don't remember my mom saying anything to me or my sister about rich people. I had no opinion about them whatsoever. Chris had a similar upbringing. He was raised by his grandparents, who didn't talk about their own money or anyone else's. Then the speaker turned to the rest of the group and said something that silenced the room. Your ideas about millionaires shape your mindset about money. He went on to explain, if you want to become a millionaire, but you've been unsuccessful, it's because your mindset about money is sabotaging your efforts. In other words, people who think negative thoughts about millionaires can't become millionaires because their subconscious minds won't let them. What were you taught about millionaires growing up? Were rich people demonized or admired? Whether you realize it or not, what you learned about the rich is baked into your subconscious. Everyone has subconscious money programs, which are the thoughts that shape their actions, and actions shape results. The Millionaire Widow. One Thursday at 3 p.m., my husband Chris received a frantic call from Jason, a friend who was visiting from California. We had met Jason more than 15 years earlier. Chris, we need to meet, Jason said. It's really important. Holy cow. When can we come see you? Chris said, I'm open tomorrow morning around 10. Does that work? Is everything okay? Yes, Jason said. It's all good. We just really need your financial expertise. And it's urgent. You're one of the few people I trust. I can fill you in when I see you in the morning. The next day, Jason came to the office with his adult daughter, Emily. Jason did all the talking. He said Emily had just received a $1 million insurance settlement in the wrongful death of her husband the year before. Emily was a 26-year-old widow with a 6-year-old daughter who would receive a smaller settlement, currently held in a trust until she turned 21. We need to figure out what to do with this money, Chris, Jason said. A financial advisor called and said he would invest it for us, but we're not sure we want to do that. We want to see what you can do with Emily's money. Jason, we won't do anything with her money, Chris said. Remember, our job is to educate and coach people on more efficient ways to manage and invest their money. Once Emily learns how to do that, guided by one of our financial coaches, she will know the best way to invest her money herself. Chris turned to Emily and said, What do you want to do? Whatever my dad thinks I should do, Emily said. A few weeks later, Emily enrolled in the TARDIS coaching program and was assigned a dedicated coach. We ran different scenarios on the Income Snowball calculator trademark to illustrate how to create an income snowball without tapping into her settlement funds and create income for life. We also showed her the possibilities if she used a small percentage of her funds to invest in various assets. We gave her various videos on investments to watch. We taught her how to analyze investments and read real estate pro formas, financial summaries that give an estimate of how rental properties are expected to perform as investments. She was on her way to financial freedom. The problem started almost instantly. When Emily was ready to invest, her dad disagreed with her choices. When she wanted to buy an investment property, he said he didn't like the neighborhood. One day, Emily would show her coach an investment she wanted to make, and within hours, her dad would talk her out of it. Emily was taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps backward. Keep in mind, Jason wasn't an investor, nor was he learning how to be one. He didn't watch the videos, do the assignments, or attend Emily's coaching sessions, but we found out quickly that Jason made the decisions. Although Jason hadn't participated in Emily's training, he was giving her investment advice, and she was listening to him. Less than 2 months after Emily became a client, she told us she would be using $400,000 to renovate her parents' home. Her parents' home was more than 50 years old, and Emily lived with them, so she expected to inherit it one day. She thought that giving the house an upgrade was a good investment. About 3 weeks into the renovations, Emily told us they also needed new furniture, so they hired a designer and invested close to $100,000 in state-of-the-art appliances, lighting, and fixtures for the kitchen and bathrooms and modern furniture throughout the house. A few months into Emily's parents' home renovations, the contractors ran out of money and asked for more to finish the project. For months, Emily funneled more money to the contractors. With 6 months left in her wealth coaching, Emily stopped meeting with her TARDIS coach. She had less than $30,000 left from her $1 million settlement, and her parents' home was half renovated. Emily and her dad, Jason, had poor money mindsets. Jason was too busy to learn how to invest, yet he worried about Emily making investments he did not understand. Emily wasn't used to making her own decisions, even about joining TARDIS, and relied on her dad's uninformed advice instead of being confident in what she learned. Regardless of what Emily learned from us about investing and the coaching she received, the 26-year-old wouldn't invest a dollar of her $1 million without her dad's approval. Jason's mindset defaulted to spending Emily's money on the home he thought was an asset instead of on income-producing investments. Money and marriage? Rebecca and James had been married for close to 20 years. Together they had 3 kids and had struggled with money most of their married life. Every time we take 3 steps forward, we take 5 steps back, Rebecca said. Neither of us grew up with money, so whenever we get some, James wants to spend it. And because he's the only one working, I feel he should be able to do whatever he wants with it, since it's really his money. James worked at a warehouse. He went to Sizzler to eat every day for lunch. On his way home from work, he would stop at 7-Eleven to get a slushie and chips. When he got a bonus, he bought an Oculus video headset. When Rebecca got a $5,000 settlement from a class action lawsuit, the kids and James bought things, but Rebecca got nothing. Then the car needed 2 new tires, and they didn't have any savings to cover it. While James was laid off from his job, they struggled to pay their mortgage and almost lost their home. When James and Rebecca came to TARDIS, they were excited about the possibilities. They learned fast and developed a solid plan with structure and timelines to follow. James stopped eating at Sizzler every day. Instead, Rebecca packed his lunch. But on occasion, James came home with a new pair of athletic shoes or a new electronic gadget they hadn't planned for. Within the first 3 months, Rebecca and James were veering off track. Rebecca tried nagging James. It didn't work. James thought Rebecca was super tight with money, and Rebecca thought James was careless. Their investment income was growing, but much slower than it should have under their TARDIS plan. You could feel the tension in their marriage. The couple wasn't on the same page until their coach helped them see their negative and conflicting attitudes toward money. James and Rebecca's TARDIS coach helped them discover their money mindsets and change the destructive ones. They stopped trying to convince one another that the other was wrong. Instead, they worked on themselves and focused on achieving their joint goals, with each taking a different role. Today, James and Rebecca have weekly financial date nights to discuss their financial progress and dream about their long-term goals. They celebrate and reward themselves when they achieve financial milestones. They attend their coaching meetings together, and they are on track to reach financial freedom in 10 years. It took 9 months, but with help from their TARDIS coach, they changed their primary money mindsets. Now they expect to achieve their goals sooner because they are aligned in their goals and actions, and they no longer argue about money. Identifying your investment personality. If it feels like there's something between you and your money lately, you're not wrong. Something is keeping you from becoming financially independent, and not by accident. In fact, our modern social media and the financial industry in general have, whether inadvertently or intentionally, perpetuated 8 barriers to wealth. These often misunderstood wealth blockers keep people broke and prevent them from achieving financial success. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone is plagued by one or more of these financial blockers, which prevent them from achieving the financial success they could otherwise achieve. To overcome these blockers, we first need to understand and confront them. Moreover, one or more of these blockers is likely preventing you from using strategies that, if you started using them today, could put hundreds or thousands more in your pocket virtually overnight. On the flip side, waiting 2 weeks to take action could cost you thousands. That's why you're reading this book just in time. It's never too early to start learning how to invest the Income Snowball way, or too late. We've helped families recover after the dot-com crash completely shrank their lifestyles. Our system has rescued families from financial devastation after COVID-19 drained their savings and investment accounts when they were just a few years away from retirement. Today, they are more financially secure than ever. You can be too, but only if you act on this information. The 8 wealth blockers are: 1, subconscious money programs; 2, lack of financial education or financial goals; 3, fear of investing; 4, no concrete plan; 5, keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle; 6, herd mentality investing; 7, no predictable investment systems; and 8, procrastination. We will find each of these blockers at various points in the stories and steps throughout this book. One part of uncovering your subconscious beliefs about investing is identifying your primary money management and investing style. Everyone has a primary way of managing money and investing that has both strengths and weaknesses. To identify your primary type, go to https://hamtrusttardis.com investor quiz to discover your investment type. Your money programs. Everyone has money programs. You must uncover destructive money programs and beliefs and change them before you can become a wealth master. This worksheet will start you on the journey to discovering your money mindsets and reprogramming your subconscious against those that are working against you. If negative subconscious money programs are left unchecked, they will hinder your financial goals. Take a moment to thoughtfully answer the following questions. What did you learn about rich people growing up? Why are rich people rich? Why are poor people poor? What did you learn about investing growing up? What did you learn about saving money? What did you learn about debt? Financially, what do you deserve? Do these beliefs support your financial success? Why or why not? What can you do to change them? I hope you enjoyed the first chapter of my book, Creating Your Passive Income Snowball. You can get your own copy of the book on the TARDIS Wealth Strategies website at tardis.com. I hope that you take the time to read or listen to the entire book and schedule your own one-to-one call with one of our wealth coaches. Anyone can create wealth with the right tools. Thank you for taking time to listen to Chapter 1, and I hope to see you soon in the TARDIS community.